Another quick tip here, this is just to clarify that your gyro for the tail is working in the right direction before you start to spool up and potentially get into some sort of trouble with your helicopter spinning like a top and destroying itself. So this is the easy way to check. A lot of people say look at the slider here, see which way it goes, but that can be different from one helicopter to another because it depends on the linkage here connected to the tail grip. Some have what's called a leading edge link, so as you see there, the link here on mine is attached to where the leading edge side of the blade is, and some have a trailing edge link, so it's connected to where the trailing edge of the blade is. So that's going to be different. So for one, when the slider goes to the inside, it'll turn the blades one way, but with the other one, if the slider goes to the inside, it'll turn the blade the other way. So that could get you into some trouble. The clear 100% way to know that it's working is to look at the leading edge of your tail blade. Okay, so your tail is going to be turning in this direction, around. So the leading edge, the front of the tail blade. Alright, so first I'm going to check that my tail servo is acting in the correct direction for my stick input. When I slide my stick to the left, you see that the tail blade turned so the leading edge was pointing to the right. Okay, let's move it around here so you see it a bit easier. Okay, yeah. So my leading edge of my blade is turning in the opposite direction, or pointing in the opposite direction to the way I'm moving the stick. If I move the stick to the right, now the leading edge of the blade is pointing to the left. So that shows me that the servo is working correctly. If I was to push my stick to the right and the blade was also to point to the right, then that's the wrong way and your helicopter will steer in the wrong direction. Okay, so to change that you would reverse the rudder servo in your transmitter. Okay, and that will get that working correctly. Now what we have to do is make sure that the gyro compensation is also working in the right direction. So I'll just move my radio out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to push my tail in one direction, and again the leading edge of the blade should point in the opposite direction. So if I push my tail to the right, how difficult to see, the leading edge of the blades went to the left. If I move my helicopter, there you go, to the left, the leading edge points to the right. So again, it's always the opposite way. Okay, difficult to hold the telephone and move it all at the same time. So the leading edge of the blade will turn to point in the opposite direction from which direction you are moving the tail. Okay, just like that. So if that's correct, then you're all good. If it's again, if you push to the, let's say you push it to the right and the blade also turns to the right, your helicopter will just spin on the spot and get faster and faster. So we have to alter the compensation direction for the tail gyro in either your flybarless unit or your standard tail gyro. Okay, so if you do these checks before you spool up the helicopter, hopefully that should stop any of you from having any problems of it spinning around in a circle and thrashing itself to bits on the floor. I hope this helps. Thanks.